talking, how many more weeks of groups do we have before we went off live? And you just told me, well, this is second till last.
Yeah, there's some teams on the chopping block too. This is starting to get to the finals. There's some teams that are hovering dangerously close to the bottom end of this scoreboard, and if a certain team has 2-3 good games this week or next, then they might be knocking some other teams out. It's on the other hand, at the top of the scoreboard, there's teams that have pretty much solidified their place in the finals as well.
Yeah, well, I think we might be able to take a quick look at the overall leaderboard on stream for everybody at home. If not, Bigfoot, you are going to be the one that will be tasked with running us through the current standings. But no, we do have the leaderboard on screen in just a moment. And I'm very excited. This is overall across all the 4 groups, and we have the confetti arrows where we left them off last week in first position with 174 points.
Yeah, so they're definitely one of the teams, and alongside Gil Gen Z, Comedy Crosshairs A, who I'd say have pretty much solidified their place in the finals. They'd have to get no kills and lose nearly every single match, with some of the lower teams getting some high points just to be knocked out at this point, out of this top 20. So I think they're pretty comfortable. Moving further down the scoreboard, you see some of the standout teams from last week, like Derby Diamonds. They managed to get up quite high. We've also, of course, CCSW Sandstorm as well, playing really well last week. They've managed to push themselves up to 4th place very comfortably with 120. But as you move further down this leaderboard towards the 20th point, you will start to see teams with 17 points, 23 points, 35 points. And you see this is where the chaos might begin. Some of these teams might be getting kicked out by the teams beneath them that we don't see in this top 20.
Yeah, of course, some of these teams with a lot of elimination points. For example, Cambria A with a ton of elimination points, but not as successful when it comes to placement. So something that they might want to change up going into this final couple of weeks, as they are very close to breaking into that top 10. Obviously, we had the UPC Apex A, the GCS Owls B, 2 of the squads that we have seen previously in the top 10, just falling short outside of that top 10 after last week's results. But let's talk about last week's results, because the narrative for the longest time of this tournament was we had the team that felt untouchable, and now they have, well, been overthrown.
Yep, they've been knocked down to 7th place. Gil Gen Z, with the team that came into this tournament, was such a bang, but they've had a little bit of a lull in their consistency. There's been a couple of weeks where they haven't really been getting first places or high kill counts. Some where they got a couple, but not loads. So after the dominant first week, they did change a little bit, and but yeah, the top 3 is looking a lot more even now. Teams are a lot closer to each other, and Gil Gen Z being overtaken themselves does show that this isn't a one-trick, but a one-team story, and there's a lot more in it. And I've just been looking at the game logs here too, and the standings.
Yep.
And the 20th point of the leaderboard is on 49 points, right? Rolling on the tail end of trying to get into the finals, we've got 48 points, 47 points, 43, 41, 40, 37, 30. You see what I mean? It's a game. It's a first place victory in it for who's going to be making the through to the finals. And should one of these teams in the bottom halves get up there, they might be able to, all the scores reset for the finals, they might be able to knock out one of these teams that are sat comfortably in the top 4 and take the entire league from the bottom.
I mean, you did mention the Derby Diamonds, I believe, which is one of the teams that was, I believe, in the bottom 5 before last week started. Or anyway, they weren't doing too hot, and now they find themselves, I believe, on 7th place after just having a great series of games to just rack up all those points. I believe you also had a UPC Apex A, one of the other teams that was really struggling, and also in the top 15 now. So despite us getting closer and closer to the end of the group stage, there is still room for the teams to perform and rack up those points, especially as the top dogs, or some of the top dogs, are maybe underperforming compared to what we would expect from them normally.
Yeah, we got a mix of those teams here tonight. So we do have Confetti Arrows, the leaderboard top first place at the minute. They're playing in the group stage tonight that we're going to be observing. Got CCSW Sandstorm, HSDC Storm Apex, Derby Diamonds themselves. We've just been talking about. Yeah, they had about 9 placement points, then 18, then 9. And then last week they got up to like 23 total placement points with a heap of kills, 19 kills. That slingshot them all the way forward. But aside from these top teams that we got in the lobby tonight, we do have these borderline teams as well. We've got Wolfpack Orange, who are literally in 20th place, and we've got 21st place, 25th place, 22nd, 23rd, 28th. A lot of teams that we want to be keeping an eye on. If any of these teams that are past 20th place start getting good points on the board, we need to keep our eyes on them.
Yeah, and this is an update for those at home that maybe tune in for the first time into the Student Champ Apex Legends Cup. The way the format works, yes, we do have 4 groups, but it doesn't matter. You can be first in your group if you are not breaking into that ever so crucial top overall pointing system. You will not be advancing past the group stage. So, yeah. You're not playing to defeat your groups, you're playing to be better than about 20, 30 other teams.
Yeah. One last team who managed to get on the board with a victory last week as well was Riverside Thunderhawks.
Oh,
Yeah, they got 15 placement points because they won the first game. It's kind of a dark horse game for them. We haven't really seen too much of them before, and they came storming through. And on the broadcast that we weren't watching, Gil Gen Z did manage to get a total of 22. CC Warriors with 24 placement points, Confetti Hours of 18. So some really strong weeks for some people there. But where it started out with like maybe 1 or 2 teams we were looking at, there is now about 7 or 8 really, really solid teams moving forward. So the finals are going to be extremely competitive, but I also will be rooting for some of these teams from the lower half of the board.
yeah, of course. And every single placement point will be crucial. We already started to see teams adapting and changing their playstyle last week by
Mm.
completely shifting their attention and realizing, you know what? Let's just let the teams that want to frag out to take out some of the quote unquote weaker opponents so that we can get closer and closer to racking up more elimination points. We've seen teams camping in caves, hiding behind the others, allowing the opponents with low HP to just rotate in front of them without shooting them, only because the teams are so afraid of losing their life early on. And that's why we've been getting more and more, I believe, progressively more teams in the late games.
Yeah, and speaking of fragging out, I just want to remind everyone that the record has not been broken. Hull Raisers A still with kills, 21 kills in the first game of week 3. That record has not been broken yet, so that's still holding down. Hull Raisers A really, really dominant game. You can probably still see the VOD. It was crazy.
I think, just a wild prediction, I think that will not be topped this season.
Yeah, I don't think so, man. I mean, it would be phenomenal to see it topped in the finals, but yeah, it's gonna
Well,
people are going to be playing a very, very careful game in the finals. It's going to be very hard to rack up a 17 wipes in one lobby.
yeah, well, it's wishful thinking for us, but hey, you never know. The wilder things have happened. But I'm so excited to get into today. And Bigfoot, do you want to take us in and tell us a bit about what the map for today will be, as we are now into character select?
You've actually caught me out there. On the map,
Oh,
are we in Will's Edge?
well, we're gonna find out in about 2 seconds.
I think we're in Will's Edge, but I don't want to be held on trial for that. Storm
Yes.
Point, no, it's Storm Point. I've got it all wrong. Careful, and I fail. I've been so in depth in these in the numbers in this Excel sheet that I haven't even taken the time to look at what map we're on.
Well, that's absolutely fine, Bigfoot. There's no worries, as we are now underway with the first game of the day. Sadly, we have 3 teams that didn't quite manage to connect for the first game. I believe
Oh
that
dear.
will be the CYS Crusaders, TCS Esports, and the Hull Raisers C squad. But it's fine. We're underway with the first game, and let's see where everybody will be dropping. And do you have any favorite hot drop or position, maybe drop spot rather, on Stormpoint, Bigfoot?
Well, last week the Heat tended to go like with the high loot circle that you see, and we saw some hot drops there. But apart from that, there wasn't really too many teams landing on top of each other. There is, of course, these lobbies aren't completely full, so it is reasonably easy for teams to spread out. But we do see 3 teams around Stormcatcher and 2 on Ceto. And it looks like 2 teams going all the way down to Coastal Camp, possibly. So yeah, there's going to be an early fight here. And up in the top right, we got 3 teams as well. There's quite a few hot drops, and there didn't need to be so many hot drops, but this is at least going to make for some action.
Yeah, and we have Wraith Zulu with the first blood onto Coops. As you mentioned, a lot of teams jumping on top of each other, despite having, I think, multiple drops up north, including the wall being available for them. But we'll see. There will be teams that will have to maybe change their drop spot come second round. Great. We are. Yeah. Let's talk about. We haven't even talked about the characters that we are going to be expected to see today, and there's a few different ones that we see compare. Well, okay. As we trying to
Oh
talk about
dear.
that Goji and that one get taken out, and it's only going to be DJD left alone in a 1v3. We're getting a nice cam from our observer right now, observing that finisher. And a lot of kills already. One squad completely eliminated.
Yep, that was a very, very hot drop. SGS first shot, getting some early kills in there. And of course, DJD, last member standing for the CAVC Calts, going to maybe try and get those banners back. There is, of course, a conduit, so there's no need to grab those banners when you can craft them, unless you want to go for that quick revive. But it's going to be the safe retreat right now as DJD rearranges. A couple of other spots on the map where they could have had been a similar fight, but the kill feed's looking quite quiet. So I'm guessing that the teams split apart a little bit. Well, they're just taking the time to loot up first before engaging there. We do see a very, very small little peak there for Rakwosi, going to be aiming out of this area, trying to get a shot off, but the smoke's coming in. There might actually be a rotate coming through. So some people are actually really trying to avoid these early fights. It's got to the point in this league where, if you're out early on, what a great place for Ron.
I love this from Ron. This is my playstyle when I'm when you just hop on an Apex game, you get two randoms in your team, they die in the first 10 seconds. I mean, that's what the game, that didn't happen to Ron. I'm just saying that's something that I would do in my pub games.
I'd love to see if Ron's the rest of Ron's team's been wiped, or if they just held back on the other side of the map. But yeah, sneaking up, trying to pick up the fragments of this loot from these boxes. Definitely got away with that. Going to have to add that to the Ratcam compilation by the end of this series. That might be one of the best yet, being just so close to another squad. I had no idea that they were there right behind that fence. Over towards Down Beast, we do see HSDC Storm. Sending some shots from the Mastiff off into the smoke there, but I don't think there's anyone there to take those shells. Grenades are coming in, though. There's probably going to be a pretty vicious fight kicking off here any second. Rolling Thunder into.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I was like, okay. You predicted that perfectly, but they are playing on top of each other, very united as a team, we could say. I believe it's the Derby Diamonds, actually, that we're following right now. Team 17. Am I correct, Bigfoot? I think that's right. The Derby Diamonds, yeah.
HSDC Storm Apex are Team 17.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my days.
My math's never perfect, Bigfoot, that's why. As some very nice shots coming in right here. Ooh, okay. I love this. Just bop and weave. Get a few tags, crouch behind, get the heal back up. And a straight out is going to come in. Lots of good damage dealt right there with the R301. Trying to get a couple of shots with a long distance triple take, but no, the position of the opponent will be enabled. Still covering for each other, but oh my goodness. I think the utility will be flying in just a moment, and if you're hiding behind that crate, you're not going to be too much safer.
Yeah, completely pinned here. Some good shots from Apollo, still maintaining the high ground. Now the conduit shields are going to deplete. Definitely time to get a battery off. There is plenty of time, but it does look like the other team's making an escape. So keep pushing could be the play. But right now we're moving around the map. It does look like we've got another retreat on our hands as Cambria Koala is making a retreat here.
Wow. Okay. I mean, again, another player that is left alone to their own devices, but still 16 squads left. We have had multiple players drop over the last 2 minutes or so, but still, like we talked about this in the pregame, Bigfoot, it is all about staying alive as long as possible as a team, waiting for some of the other teams that might be considered weaker to get taken out so you get more placement points.
Yeah, and just being that one player that stays alive, especially if you've got the support character for the crafting, it can take you from 17th place to top 5 if you can just maintain your life until that point. But obviously, it is a bit of a challenge running around the map as a solo player, trying to get your teammates back. But there's little pockets here and there where sit on the map. There's quite a few concentrated areas, which does leave for some sparsely populated areas as well. The question is, are these crafters in a safe place? Are these spawn points in a safe place or not? Right now, it does look like there's a spawn point nearby that could be a safe respawn, but the banners aren't crafted yet for Koala.
We should move to that area.
We have Crypt, Dito, and Quinn.
Very interesting lineup there. We saw Ash, Valkyrie, and Valkyrie. Valkyrie's definitely making their way back into the meta, but Ash, on the other hand, still a little bit of a stale character. That's Snare just not quite being what it could be to be a really effective combat utility. Over here, we got GCS trying to smash down a balloon, keep a team out in the dark, out in the zone here, and sending up this amp cover, trying to get some shots down, but amp cover goes down over there as well.
Got one there.
Another 2 players have dropped, still 16 squads alive. Upriver tree. I think they are aware of Gogsy's positioning. That's what they're playing this so slow. But look at Barlow Basher. Oh, will get spotted, unfortunately, while the rotation was happening. And I believe they will be taken out in just a second. Sprays in the zone. Not quite connecting in time, but it will be in Furbius to take out Barlow Basher. And just an unfortunate position to be for the Sandstorm player at the edge of zone. Caught while they were trying to get Gogs. But I think Gogs just managed to run away. No, okay. You're being spotted. Oh my goodness. Beautiful spray control right there coming in from Upriver Tree.
Yeah, War Sheeta's definitely got the highest DPS in the game. Even from a distance, it's viable. I wouldn't have expected to land quite so many shots there myself, but that's why I'm talking about the league and not in it. Like you say, really good spray control. And it's actually a little bit of a rival match here. CCSW Sandstorm against HSDC Storm. Talking about the overall standing, 4th and 7th places, but within their group, 1st and 2nd places. Derby Diamond's hot on the tail in 8th place totally, and 3rd place inside this group. But yeah, 2 teams that have had a little bit of beef backwards and forwards as they try and come out as the most dominant within their group. But this grudge match will be going on a little longer, as I do expect both teams to be making their way into the finals.
Yeah, more than certainly. And for some of these teams that are at the top, I believe the next couple of weeks, okay, just spot an opponent, knocking them instantly. That was kind of like an early Christmas gift that Interp got there, but meanwhile, they did manage to get that kill there, but it was Zulu. Zulu, though, their teammate does get taken out, and now a lot of good damage being inflicted, but it's going to be Interp alone, as both of his teammates have been knocked down and completely killed. Can Interp come on top of the duel? Will jump into the zone, trying to chase the opponent. Will they be able to do so? Okay, they will try to revive. No, not just yet, not committing to it, as we're moving across instantly to Ultra Guard, getting a couple nice taps with the Wingman. Very good right there. Spots another opponent, shuts him in the back of the head. To be fair, I don't know what Nitro was doing there, but Ultra Guard, despite a couple of nice kills, are now getting pushed, and there's only 2 of them. Utility flying in, having to reposition, having to go further away from the contact of the opponents. They're going to take this up the balloon and going to try to rotate without getting shot more by their opponents, but a couple bullets connecting.
Yeah, and Shock JCY Star was taken down going up that balloon. Ultra God going to make it away just with their life. 95 more points to level up in Evo, but yeah, that was another team we need to watch out for. TCS Esports. Currently, they're in 25th place, but what we saw there with that double Wigman kill, if they can stay alive a little bit longer, might push them forward, but going out now, unfortunately, won't do too much to bring them into that top 20, so let's wish that Ash player a little bit more luck moving forward, see if they can get their team back, but 2 banners down, going to, again, be another player that's got to go craft, so what we know so far from this lobby is there's going to be a lot of demand for these crafters and spawn stations, so I do expect to see a couple of people getting themselves in a bit of a sticky situation as they try and bring back their team.
Okay, it's Ultra Guard. Okay,
there we have it. That's the sticky situation we were talking about. Very, very sticky. To the point where you're stuck to the floor. The box is down, and unfortunately, Ultra God will be taken down by Koala, who was a player by themselves just 5 minutes ago. So Koala managed to get the spawn off, the respawn, and hold down the area and get a team wipe in the process.
No matter how we get... Okay, wow. They are being completely bombarded as of this moment. It's still somehow not being pushed by the opponents, or maybe the opponents are just holding the utility from very far away, as all 3, yes, not looking the healthiest, but still alive, and the numbers will come into play as we're almost getting into that top 10 squads left. 12 still to 2 more teams to go before we reach that point, but obviously out of the 12 we know there's a few solos and some duos.
Yeah, and Kawada was one of those solos not too long ago. Getting the full team back up, going to be very happy with that. This is actually a team that stands reasonably comfortable, but not overly comfortable in 11th place with a total points of 85. They can be knocked down. It is possible for them to get pushed out the top 20, but with their performance looking good so far, I do think that's a little bit unlikely because they do seem to be a team that can keep these points moving up as the time goes on. What a shot there from the
Oh my
Sentinel.
goodness.
Excellent opening damage. Going to make that push and already finished off Green Juice.
Yeah, the juice will have to be reused in the next map as they got taken out, and I don't think we'll see any anyone crafting them back into the game for the remainder of this one. But let's talk a bit about guns here, Bigfoot, because previously in the previous patch, like in the first couple of weeks of the season, everybody obviously knew what the main guns were, but I see a lot of variety today from all these teams.
I mean, the new patch has made it so the only completely unviable weapons, the charge rifles. So it's looking pretty good, but there's still guns that have higher time to kill, etc. Guns that have lost their spray accuracy, like the R9, but people are still using them. And the patch has been nice to give choice to everyone. I mean, like, it used to be, everyone would be on the 30-30 for the marksman, but now some people might be on the scout and some people might be on the triple take. And so there's more choice down to personal playstyle and preference, which opens up doors as well as happening alongside the opening up of agents becoming more viable. So yeah, I think it's a really healthy meta right now. And it's good to see players being able to play exactly what they want, especially if what they want to play is a sniper or a shotgun, because we love those.
I really want to see a Bocek again. I know that was the previous patch when we saw, I think, was it Aston that put up all the big numbers? Yeah. So maybe someone will pick up the Bocek, or maybe in the grand finals we'll get the chance to see it again. But a lot of teams on this edge of zone, and it's going to be HSBC just turning around and fighting with the opponents to the right, I believe. It's Apollo, Infurbius, and Upriver Tree. And they've been getting a lot of kills actually this far. Not Apollo himself, but I think Infurbius and Upriver Tree have a couple of their own.
Oh my days. Apollo is just bloodthirsty tonight, hunting down, doing so much good damage. And yeah, smash it down, give his shield, gonna crack the armor as well, taken down to the bottom of the red armor themselves, but it's not going to be too long before the shield back pops off. There is also Revenant ult online to really increase that attacking capability, and alongside Conduit's Q. So this is one of the ultimate combos of the current patch that we've been talking about last week. And you'll maybe get to see just how powerful it is if we get to see Apollo make a push on the ult with the Conduit Q activated. The shield just keeps on coming.
Team 9, I think this might be the CGS first shot. Staying alive, okay, they're getting a few pieces of damage through the wall. Oh my goodness, actually the opponent is much closer than I thought. I thought they were just trying to spray through the door for some reason, but no, it was up close in the corner. The smoke will enable Cryptic to get back up the shields, as they are not being pushed right now. The opponent's too afraid to get sandwiched in this area. It's a choke point, it's a smoke, there's 3 opponents that you're facing, so that is the correct choice from their opponents.
Yeah, and got a good spot in the zone. That's what all teams are really trying to do right now, is just find that spot in the zone, but some of these teams have been held back a little bit late. You do see Loughborough College Lycans here coming in a little bit delayed, but with purple shields, they will make it down to this building, but this building is occupied. Interesting to see here on SGS first shot, we do have a ballistics. Not one of the least viable, least common picks at the minute for an agent. But we saw TSM with ballistic last night in some scrims, so definitely been proven that there's some viability there. Some really, really good advantages as well for pushing a fight, and limited ammo. That autoload is just looking so nice. You can fill the gun with gold attachments too, so from a duelist perspective, like if you really want to be attacking it and getting these fights, somewhat viable for sure. You have to play aggressive to make the most of it.
Systematic takeover of this inside area. Nice double, open the door, trying to splay through. Jobs will get a few shots in, but also will have to take some damage, pop one of the big shields, and now the team is rotating. We'll have to join him in a second, and 17 players left, 6 squads in total.
Yeah, this is Loughborough College Vikings, another team that haven't quite
Thank you.
guaranteed their place in the final. In the 14th position right now, of a total of 67 points. Making it through to the top 6 will keep that moving forward. They probably will be pretty comfortable. Not too worried about them, but any team that's 14th, 15th place and onwards can be kicked out this tournament before we get to the finals. And any team that's past 20 can kick themselves forward with the right gameplay. They have been detected, so right on the edge of the zone in such a nice spot. There's at least one team that know exactly where they are, but if they can play this right, they're going to be looking good. They don't have any control of utilities. They've got no traps, no rampart walls, nothing like that, but if they can just use the cover that is available to them while the rest of the team, the rest of these 5 other squads fight towards this last zone, then they're going to be in a very comfortable position to play it.
Very well said. As I believe one of the 6 squads only has a duo. Yes, there's only 17 players left, Bigfoot, and this is a make or break. And this is what we talked about. The teams are playing for the late game. The zone is getting smaller and smaller. The utility is flying in, but it will be Jobs, Good, and Exia just connecting to the side, losing some shield in the process. But now they spot the opponents, and now can they reposition themselves? You're gonna see a nice attempt from HBot right here. Come around, spot the opponent, deals a lot of good damage there. Opens the door, spots the opponents, and no, the spray control's in their favor. What are the opponents doing? Sabotage! Sabotaging himself. As we have KJ getting a couple of kills already with his pistol. Shield in hand, opening the door, faking, pumping, shooting. The opponent is behind the door. Who's going to come out on top? But the NLE team is the Lycans. They're doing pretty well thus far.
Yeah, there's just so many squads in this area that I'm really, really impressed with the Lycans' ability to play this, using this door, opening it, closing it, engaging and disengaging in the fight when the time is right. But actually going to kick down the door to try and get this last kill. There we have it. Really, really good stuff there. But I think there'll be still one player somewhere hiding. But right now, Lycan's looking pretty comfortable. Going to be able to loot up so much loot for them available here. And a moment of calm. It's interesting because they could have stayed on the edge of that zone and waited it out. And I was saying if they could just let the other teams fight and stay there, they're going to be comfortable. But they made the aggressive decision to push in and, Pathfinder, Revenant, Conduit. One of the most aggressive team comps right now. So I'm impressed and also not surprised to see them push in. But if you're going to run a team comp like that, you need to be running it aggressively to make the most of it. And as we see, they really can make the most of it. But now HSDC rotating around this edge of the zone. They've got amped cover up in different spots. They're kind of circling around these remaining squads.
Is that Upriver alone?
Lycans are getting back into another fight. The fight, though. I think they just got another kill on the Ghoul there. So that was the final squad. Remember, we were missing before. 3 squads left. Lycans getting bombarded, but does spy one player without getting any shots there with a flatline. Does keep the pressure on at the very least, but they're going to stick together and make this rotation anti-clockwise now. They're going to be coming into the side of HSDC, and the way HSDC are positioned here is they're circling this area. They might be able to be taken out one by one if the Lycans just keep on pushing.
3 squads to go. Only 2 players for one of these 3 squads. We are looking at Lycans and HSDC Storm. And look at the damage. What a beautiful spray down coming in right now. I think Apollo was the one to pick it up in the end, but no, switching guns. It's the Eva. You just mentioned we love it, and oh my goodness! They got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They really did storm in off the back of that Sheila there. Koala, though, I think has to be a good shout out. 1 point Koala was 1 player standing in the team and managed to get the revive and get the team to 2nd place there, I think. Just above the Lycans. I think the Lycans might have went out in 3rd, but it was actually extremely chaotic at that last minute, and then my screen to go a little bit pixely. So we'll wait for the results to come in and fully guarantee that. But yeah, either way, HSDC, they held that down the edge of the zone so perfectly, waiting for teams to come out, and then when the time was right, they pushed forward with the Sheila and the shotguns as well, just to cap off that damage.
I don't know if you spotted, because that's why I was surprised for a split second, because Upriver was alone outside playing behind that edge. And I thought, oh, everybody else died. But no, when there were 4 teams remaining, they already repositioned 2 of their teammates. They were taking control of high ground, and then they got back together. So very interesting tactical decisions to take in those very crucial moments of the end game. But yeah, we do have the actual final results of that game, number 1. And wow. The Lycans, despite coming in 2nd place, they did manage to rack up 10 elimination points.
Yeah, that's really good. I thought they might have came out first, so they're going to be really, really happy with that. You know, a team that where were they? Loughborough College Lightens in 14th place yet, so that's going to slingshot them forward a little bit, keep them solidified in this top 20. I do think they're a team that are going to be comfortable. They'd have to play pretty badly to get knocked out right now, but still, we've got teams like Hull Raisers B. If they can follow in the footsteps of Hull Raisers A, maybe they'll be securing their spot in this top 20, but they're in 22nd place right now. So, that's one game left out of the 6 final games to get into the finals, and it won't be long until today's over, and we'll be looking at 3 remaining games to get into the finals. So the clock is truly ticking for these teams.
Well, the clock is truly ticking, Bigfoot, but because of that, the teams do need to recompose themselves. So we're going to send it to a quick break, and when we're back, it's going to be game 2 and 3 at week number 5 of the Student Champs Apex Legends Cup. to the Apex Legends Student Champs Cup. I'm Waxon, joined by Bigfoot. We just had the first game, which, well, the story here, Bigfoot, we know what it is. It's about the 10 to 30 teams currently in the leaderboard fighting for the remaining 10 spots, that 10 to 20 spots to qualify for the grand finals with 5 games to go. 2 today, 3 next week, and then that's it.
It's all over for the teams who aren't in that top 20 then, isn't it? And that's going to be quite a few of them, but we will have solidified who the top 20 teams are. So the finals are going to be of an extremely high caliber, very competitive. Everyone's going to be trying to get those placement points whilst also trying to get their shields online early. So it's a good meta for a good mix-up and for a good finals as well. We've been talking a lot about characters and guns and stuff and how much more viable. So should be a really interesting mix-up as we get through to the finals. But we're going to take a look at the current standings right now.
Yeah, we have I believe this is updated after the first map from the other groups as well, and we have the Confetti Arrows, Gilgen Z, and Crosshairs A still in the top 3 positions. But HSDC, Storm, Apex, they had 120, I believe, before going into this previous game, and now up to 130, so getting 10 points closer themselves to that top 3. Still a long mountain to climb. Everything else pretty much unchanged in the top 10, but the key one is the 10 to 20, like we mentioned, and Cambria A 2 points away from breaking 100, and they've got quite a good comfort cushion with 12 points.
Yeah, they look really, really good. They're pretty much double 20th position, so that's pretty comfortable for them. But coming off the back end of this leaderboard, what you don't see is just how tight the people are in 21st to 30th position as well. We've got St. Vincent Sharks with 51 running down. The scores only drop by 1 or 2. It goes 51, 51, 49, 46, 45, 45, 42. So that is so close to 53 points. That's one good game away from overtaking and getting into the top 20.
I believe our top 16 team has 56 points. So between 41 points and 56, I mean, like you said, you don't even need to win it to get 15 points. You just maybe need a couple of eliminations and getting to the top 3, top 4, and that's it. You've already overtaken 10 other teams and you've gotten yourself closer to that. Obviously, it does matter what groups you're facing today. We are looking at A and C here on the mainstream, but we also have B and D going off stream. So everybody is fighting for it, and that's what, well, the teams really wanted, Bigfoot. And I gotta ask you, if you're one of the teams that is not even in the top 30 currently, you're one of the teams that is in the bottom 10, 30 to 40 right now. We got 5 games to go. What do you tell your teammates? If you're their coach, what do you tell your team to change or to do to turn your season around?
Well, maybe not every single team here is playing to try and make a future in pro esports, but if you are, I say play it seriously like you would any other game and try and get first place with kills like you would any other game. If you're not, I would honestly say have a laugh with it, everyone. Say hot drop, see what happens. I mean, but if your purpose is for being in part of this tournament, which is the great thing about collegiate student esports, is you can get that foundational experience in competitive settings. If that's what your target is, I would say take every single game seriously. But there's a lot of fun to be had here too. We might see some more rats, some more hot drop pressure. I mean, some of these teams split up when they pressure, and you could try something new. You can try and catch out one of these players alone when they split up a little bit. But some teams are probably going to find it almost impossible to make into the top 20 now. So it depends what their intentions are.
Well, we have seen some teams drop like 50-point games this tournament. So I mean, you never know. You never know. Someone popping off having the game of their life. But in the game 1, we had a very interesting early game that we weren't expecting to get so many teams dropping together, and there were a lot of open drop spots around the map. Do you hope that this is going to change as we are now getting into character select?
I mean, the hotspots are pretty good to see, to be honest. It is nice to get these early fights, and it does help with these teams making it through to purple and red armor before the late game. So hotspots are kind of needed for the new armor meta, but at the same time, with the amount of players on this map, a hotspot isn't actually necessary. There is enough space in this map for every single team to go and land somewhere quietly.
Yeah, and I think I think that's what I would like to see from some of these teams that took a bit of unfortunate early skirmishes in game number one. Go somewhere else, try to get your suitable weaponry, and play for those rotations. Try to catch some opponents off guard. Try to maybe team up with another team, third party, a fight, and get those extra elimination points that way. But what do I know? Let's see. Are the teams going to follow my advice or not? As we're taking a look at the overall map just now, when we have Team 17, and I believe it's the HSDC Storm Apex already going. I think that's a bit of a change. I'm pretty sure they dropped down Barometer previously, despite the fact that it was a different drop trajectory.
Yeah, we see all these Southern POIs completely ignored. So there's going to be a Southern Circle. It's going to be a lot of loot to restock people when they make their way down, but and if it's a Northern Circle, that's half the map that we're not even going to see footsteps on.
Very interesting.
It's very, very tight landing. Does look like Snowy Station might be the place where the most teams are.
Yeah, and we do get Alder right here. Okay, alongside Camo and the Surgeon. One of the teams that we haven't had the pleasure of looking at today, I believe it's the Wolfpack Purple, actually, that we're following right now. And yeah, a really quiet first game from Camo, Ald, and the Surgeon, but they're looking to make something happen, especially as they are running a very, very cool comp. But we do have two other squads in their vicinity.
Yeah, as soon as these teams end up fully on top of each other, it is going to be an actual bloodbath. Currently, they're still playing the distance. RE45 does actually have the digital threat on it, so that could be really useful if these smokes stay up. Currently, you're looking at the POV of Wolfpack Purple, as I think they've been pushed, but they're holding this higher ground down for a little bit longer, still completely safe. Everyone's on white shields, and that's the problem with these early fights. Oof. Elsewhere, we've got Loughborough College Lycans on top. Does look like they've managed to take out Benno and company. That would actually be GCS that they've knocked out.
Yeah, these three teams, a drop is turning into a bloodbath as Ald gets dropped. The revive will come through the smoke. Is it going to be enough to cover them? No, they're getting pushed. Can Camo come on top? Has to reload, has to reposition. Is getting pushed deeper and now it's alone. Will get taken out as the Surgeon is very far away to help his team. The Surgeon now alone. Two knocked teammates. Will have to maybe take a different approach. They're dropping to a different air vent, and they're gonna get shot in the back. Very good rotation from the Surgeon, and nice bullets coming in, flying across the open room in the main hall, but now has to jump away. Reposition, throwing the smokes around from the Bangalore, closing the door, tucking in the corner.
So much can be done here with the smokes and the RE45, but if you have a look at the ammo there, down to 7 bullets on the pistol is not an ideal weapon to have, especially when it's that empty, and of course, the push will come out from Gogsy as the Surgeon is the last player standing, knocked out. Wolfpack taken down on that extremely hot drop. But that's what's going to happen when not a single team lands on a Southern POI.
Yeah, that's not what I meant when I said I want to see different drops from the teams, but hey, everybody wanted to go up north, and that's what they seem to be doing. As we're looking at Cloudburst, Loopy 1 and Green Juice. We caught the tail end of Green Juice's life in the previous game as he was getting shot in the back, but this time a bit more healthy, a bit more time alive spending on this map. And look at Team 14. Team 14, I think it's the Sandstorm. They dipped. They did not want to take any of the smoke that they had could have had a part of in the hill, and they did go down south, and they're currently looting in the zone.
Yeah, so that's the only Southern POI that's been looted. There's so much loot going to waste there, and you know that actually has a bit of an effect on the full lobby as well, because there's only so much purple stuff on the map, right? And a proportion of it is in those Southern POIs. So if they just get swallowed up by the zone, that's like a proportion of purple stuff that's not making it into the game. This lobby has 20%. I'm just throwing numbers out there now. 20% less purple stuff than your average lobby.
Okay.
Little bit of person versus everything. PvE.
It's a bit of a rhythm, actually. If you were listening from Sabotage, it felt like he was playing the drums. Okay, that's not. You can't park there, sir.
I don't think you can park here either, mate. What's going to happen here? HSDC.
Is a river
They have
gonna
not
turn
been
around
spied. Upriver, just right up in the grill of them.
That's not one person you want to be facing when you're low in HP. Upriver, and look, calling for backup. Apollo's just gonna come in, and you're about to just give 3.
Yeah. Oh, what
They'll
an
leave points to
unfortunate
them.
place to park your car. Definitely could have rotated a little bit further and avoided this, but
Yeah.
oof. Not looking good. Let's see. Upriver was just completely unnoticed there.
We're
Upriver's
just chilling.
Oh, now Sheila's out. We saw Sheila do some serious damage last round. Oh, they're actually going to make it away.
Oh,
Luckily, they do get away from that extremely tricky situation, but that looks like another tricky situation. We change angles and we watch. We see SGS first shot with their ballistic ash combo again. There you do see a C, so it is actually helping, and there's the ult rotating around. Excellent rotation there. What a good rotation. Going to get some shots fired off there. Phoenix after running away, but don't they know they're walking into a rat? Goodbye, Phoenix, as Cambria Rat Squad get the kill and the wipe.
hey, if it works, I'm not questioning it, right? Like that. Yeah, everybody's got their own approach to success, and hey, if it works, it's whatever. What can I say? Do I doubt it? Yeah. Am I gonna try it? Of course I am.
Only saw that in silhouette view as well. But we just saw the battery come out from Phoenix, like a safe place. I can finally use my battery.
I gotta ask you though. Do you think? Why do you think the pace changed? Because obviously last game at this point we still had only one team eliminated, but now 4 of them have already been slayed. Do you think it's only because of obviously everybody going to drop up north, or is there a change of approach as we actually have a bit of a attempt of fighting here? All 6 players are quite separated. We see Dan and Aurorax getting sprayed down, I believe, by Gold and Sabotage. Sabotage throwing in a bit more utility. It's only Aura away from his team in military position, jumps in but gets shot in the back by Gold, and that was some very, very beautiful action coming in from our observer. Now we're moving on to Evelyn. No more shields, has to go somewhere, but gets shot. The only place Evelyn is going will be the graveyard.
Yeah, unfortunately the Vikings didn't connect last round, and now they have connected. They're having a little bit of trouble connecting to their own lives. You know, they're getting taken out quite a lot here. Dan's in a very interesting spot. Could flank this push if needed, but Dan also seems to have had a lot of trouble getting those shields back up. So, yeah, it looks like confetti arrows have started whittling away at NCL Vikings, who were really hoping to get some points on the board. You know, they're in 30 seconds position moving into tonight, and having missed that previous game, I wouldn't be surprised if they're a couple places further down than that. So, not entirely comfortable. Probably unlikely they get. Oh no! This is why Pathfinder, sorry, not Pathfinder, Bloodhound is just so horrible to the rats or people that are just trying to survive. You think? There we have it. Dan's gone too.
Okay. Some damage being done by my master, but we'll have to disengage as teammates were quite far away. We do see Ultra Guardian pop in some heals. Okay, you can see them in the bubble, waiting for them to come out, and I don't think Ultra Guard came on top of that duel. I think they got sprayed down way harder than they did.
Beast of the Hunt is activated for Shock Stall. Starting to run out though, maybe needs to make a bit of a push to make the most of it, but at least it's given the information needed so far. Master taken right down though. Unfortunately, Conduit player up ahead by themselves will be picked apart quite easily. Some good shots there from Ultra Guard. Shock gets to level up with the armor, but with Ultra Guard and Master down, it's a very, very tricky situation. But actually, if Shockstar could just make it over to Easy Brother, might be able to finish this one off. Pushing into the smoke.
Shockstar Shockar playing a very good angle, has the high ground, but though does manage to reposition himself, spots the opponent maybe, or actually we do have extra vision in this position, that's very clear, but will get the reveal in, knows the position of the opponents. Will try to still buy some more time, popping the shield first. Okay, we'll get ulted, the Rolling Thunder coming in, Shockstar though does manage to get the full shield off and disengages from the fight.
But now Easy Brother might be able to revive 2 players, so this is such a hard decision to make right now. There you have one standing back up. And unfortunately, they're not going to be able to do anything. Shotstar will get the knock, so that is 2 players back down, but not long now. Going to actually have to get the rev off themselves. Master here about to bleed out. And will be saved just in time.
Ooh, that was so close, though. Can they get to Ultra Guard, though, back in time? There's a few heals available for... But, okay, Master doesn't have the available heals, so will be knocked yet again. Ultra Guard will be lost somewhere to the Storm, as we see Apollo right here, just taking a few very interesting duels. And I think they are about to get to the... Did they get the kill there?
Apollo got knocked, so I think it was Revenant versus Revenant there. And Apollo, player we saw get so much off the back of that Revenant last game. Actually, stopped in their tracks here in the middle of a duel, but the rest of HSDC Storm, definitely players that can hold their own as well, so they might be able to make out of this alive. Apollo has been down, but completely finished off, but that... Sorry, it has been revved. Revenant's been revved, and they can re-engage with this fight.
Should they, though? That's the better question, because they don't seem very confident, and we see teams in the near vicinity as well. Faded and Koala and another trio are just a few buildings away from this potential skirmish that will continue in just a moment. Upriver Tree.
Sheila.
Loading up the Sheila.
So HSDC versus the Lycans is a bit of an interesting one, because of course HSDC very comfortable in the top 10. Lycans possibly could be renegated, but they are pretty comfortable, you know. They had a good game last game, and they were on 14th coming into tonight. And of course, we also have Comedy Crosshairs B over here. Now, this is a team that were in 30th position at the start of the night, so another team that with a couple of good games could make it forward. With a few kills on the board, they're going to be feeding themselves, getting some more loot on the board as well, moving into these later circles in the top 10. If they can make it to the top 3 once or twice, they might end up in the top 20 overall.
Yeah, and obviously Crypt, Odo, well, we just moved on from them, so it doesn't matter. But I was just saying they would love to do just what you said, Bigfoot, getting into a top 3, even once for them would be a confidence boost going into the final game of the day and hopefully into next week. That everybody is just so close up together. I believe out of the 9 squads, we got 5 in these quarters. And yes, there's a lot of levels underneath the normal low ground and obviously on top of some of the buildings, but Faded does get spotted. And I think key in this at this point in time is just for you to not give away your position. I know you might be feeling a bit excited and you might be wanting to check to not get caught by surprise, but I think just ratting, being a bit of a camper here might be the correct choice for the next few moments.
Yeah, and then the zone will pop and it'll render this location not a place you can stay, and you will have to move on from there. Heading up to the northeast there. The north even. Oh my days, those circles are not looking nice. The final circle is mostly rock, or 40% rock there. So if you are Confetti Arrows, a team that are currently in first position out of all of the teams in this league, and you also have that comfortable spot of the map and the zone, you're maybe chuckling away a little bit to yourself as you realize it might be impossible for anyone to knock you out that top spot. But I was pulled up last week on my statements causing slightly, let's say, slight inconveniences to teams, maybe even going as far as to curse them by saying good things about them. So now I've said that, of course, Confetti Arrows will probably be dropping to second place, but right now they do look comfortable.
It's good to see Koala in their squad this time around and not having to bring anybody back to life as we are. Okay. Interesting reposition. Not quite what I was expecting to see. As I said, just finding a position to hide for a few moments would be better. But Odo, Crypt, and Quinn don't want to do that. And now this might be the correct path, actually, that they're taking. down this hill.
Very interesting, yeah. They were in a pretty nice spot, but just trying to get a little bit more resource on the board. And, you know, Cryptip on red armor, Quinn on purple. Ditto does need to catch up. 18 Evo, just got to tag someone once. Just go shoot someone in the foot and you'll be on purple. Ditto. Let's see, but yeah, really nice high ground here. Very interesting rotation. Very, very big brain rotation, because now they are looking down on the entire battlefield. Just trying to get this opening damage onto this squad here, see what they can land.
Okay. 45. Coming in long distance wingman. What are your thoughts? Do you like the fact that pistols are actually so much better these days at long range?
Yeah, I mean, the wingman's insane. I mean, it's a little bit of an anomaly being a pistol. The rest of the pistols, you don't get anything like that off the back of them. Really excited to see there's a new pistol coming out. An energy pistol, I think, will be the next weapon released. That could be really interesting to see. It looked like in early design it was actually akimbo, like dual wield, but I think that's been taken down to single wield now, unfortunately. But that could have been something very, very different. But right now, we got a H600 about to get is knocked there, making a very aggressive push, but taking a lot of damage on the way in. Jop's taken down very low. This is an absolutely crucial duel for Coventry Crosshairs to win, but look for College Lycans, and they will be taken out there. And Green Juice is themselves again.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was last round. Green Juice was by themselves taken out. Another game in a row. We'll see Green Juice trying to do their team a solid favor and staying alive, but unfortunately just being swamped. Ghoul, Storm, and Sabotage there, racking up the kills moving forward.
I think this is Cambria A, if I'm not wrong. Sabotage, Ghoul, and Storm. But yeah, we move our way to Team 15. We've got Gogsy, Phoenix, and Barlow Basher. What are three of the names that we are quite familiar with from the last couple of weeks, but they were completely silenced earlier on in the first game of the day. But now they're looking to make a statement and show us why they are one of the teams that has put on some very interesting performances, maybe not the most consistent ones over the last few weeks.
Yeah, and as they make their way into the zone, they get the Bloodhound scan, get the information they need. Excellent shot there with the triple take. Going to be some early entrance damage. It's going to be a pretty intense match here between Storm and Sandstorm. Okay. But yeah, the Evactar will be taken down. Trying to make the decision here whether they want to keep engaging or hold down this building, but
yeah, they're not really committed to either, actually.
No, they've got to stick to one. Of course, if they're running out of batteries, they want to maybe save the engagements a little bit later. But there is only 3 squads left right now, so actually, you kind of want to be dealing that damage before the teams get pushed towards you. You want to be whittling away at their resources. Of course, getting those pokes in, but not taking too much damage yourself. Phoenix Dragon is onto red armor, looking really, really comfortable. Barlow, Basher, and Gogsy sending shots out still. Yeah, so we do have high ground completely dominated by Cambria A.
But this is very not looking good for the low ground teams. The Cambria A should not be losing any of these fights, as they have the complete and utmost advantage. But a couple of shots flying in, and I think it's a goal going down to quite a few low shield. We'll have to re-pop that. And Sabotage, though, getting a couple nice shots through the crack. And it's the bow check. I said I wanted to see it. Can Sabotage get any success? It's going to be a couple of nice shots, double 70, but they're getting tagged way harder than they're tagging the opponent.
Yeah, good shots as well without the scope on the bow check. I hate this bow check without the scope. Give me a 3x and I'll be happy. But really nice to land those just with a little bow dot that comes installed with the package there. Going to spray down with the Nemesis as well, get a little bit more poke damage. Starting to get a bit of information here about the different teams' shield amounts as well. Nemesis, really, really good weapon these days. Very minimal recoil from that spray down. Of course, the Rolling Thunder is in hand as well for Sabotage. If that gets chucked down, it's going to get chucked down a little bit earlier than I expected, but what it will do is buy some aggressive time as they push towards Cambria on the lower ground.
Wow, utility being thrown from the low ground to up ground to high ground. But look at Barlow, Basher, and Gogsy and Phoenix Dragon. They are actually on the upside of this, despite being lonely on the low ground. The two teams that are fighting for the edge of the cliff are actually taking way more damage and having to invest way more shields to get themselves back up to full.
Bardo Basher looking pretty comfortable there. Just needs to get a bit more shield in after taking that tickle there. Phoenix Dragon looking very comfortable to make a push as a frontline playing Bloodhound. Bloodhound could be so good to push. Hard to keep up with even. With all that information and the ult. But looks like they're just going to hold this rock down a little bit longer. If they can third party this fight at the right time, they're going to be pretty comfortable. And so far in positioning, it does look like CCSW Standstill might have the best. Excellent grenade. They're going to get 80 damage in.
And they got unscathed from that. But as I say, that Faded comes in from out of nowhere. Just getting the kill. The revive will come from Barlow Basher. Phoenix Dragon needs to cover for his teammate. And there's a lot of damage, but no, Barlow Basher is not back up to full just yet. A Sabotage coming in and gets the final kill, but they get taken out, and it's only Storm alone. Cambria A might have committed a mistake just there. Sandstorm are still doing good. 2 players still up and healthy. It's actually going to be Gox getting taken out. Phoenix Dragon 1 versus 1, and they get slain by Cambria A. Ooh, oh my goodness, they made it.
Yeah, really, really nice there. Taking out the confetti arrows, of course, going to be very, very comfortable for them, but still think the confetti arrows are pretty comfortable on this leaderboard, no matter what happens to them. But of course, they are playing for more victories. So they had that ripped out their hands there. It could have gone either way, to be honest, but it's just a matter of those micros. Whoever lands those sprays really comes out on top.
I gotta ask you, is today going to be the story of the Koala, the resurgence of the Koala? We talked about Koala in the first game and how they managed to bring back their teammates to play for a lot of more points than they should have with the initial start. But now, with a victory as well, this is looking very good for their side.
Yeah, I mean, they were in 11th position coming into tonight. So with those 2 games, I think they're pretty comfortable in the top 10. We will see when the scoreboard comes up. But I've got a feeling that they're doing exactly what it takes to guarantee their name to be in the finals. Let's see how many. 7 kills there as well. Pretty comfortable.
Very good.
Yeah, plus the 12 for the placement points. Yeah, they're going to be extremely comfortable in the top 10 now. Well done, Cambria A.
Yeah, we also have the CVC Celts, actually. I think that is them with 9 eliminations in 3rd position. Team 6, if I'm not wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, it's the Confetti Arrows, actually. Okay, well, that doesn't surprise us, does it? The Confetti Arrows probably with the team that with the most points still, even after this game. But we will have to wait and see, as I believe we are going to be sending it to a final break. But when we're back, we will see the updated top 20 and the final game of week number 5.
See you soon.
finally, game number 3, week 5, Apex Legends Student Champs Cups, organized by British Esports. Waxen Bigfoot here to bring you what could be the end for some of these teams. And I say the end, Bigfoot, and you might think it's an exaggeration, but honestly, I still believe that even if you're in the 40th place right now, if you win this game and you come up with a strong showing next week, you can still break into the top 20. Whereas if you're going out without getting any points this match, I don't see how anybody else could come back into it. Of course, there are a lot of teams between 20 and 30 that could make it, but I'm talking about the bottom 10 teams. But speaking of the bottom 10 teams, well, we're going to look at the top 10 teams because we have the updated leaderboard from the overall group stage.
Yeah, so it's still looking ridiculously comfortable for Confetti Arrows and Guild Gen Z, Coventry Crosshairs A, CCSW Sandstorm, HSDC Storm, Hull Razors A. They're looking pretty comfortable, but as we move down to like 6th or 10th place, you do see that you've got very similar score lines: 128, 127, 127, 120, 119. So don't think any of these teams are going to get pushed all the way down, because what we see at the bottom is more like 54. St. Vincent Sharks looking pretty comfortable in 20th place.
Yeah.
But right beneath them, off the leaderboard, you've got Hull Razors B and Riverside Thunderhawks on 53 points. So they're 1 point away from making it to the finals. Wolfpack Orange on 52, 2 points away from making it to the finals. TCS Esports on 50. That's only 4 points away. I'm sure you can finish off the maths. Wolfpack Purple on 49, MK Cryptic 47. So you see there are some teams that are just a handful of kills away from being in the finals. This, like, if you look all the way from CAVC Celts on 57 points, and you go all the way down here to about 40 points, it's about 15 teams that could, or with a will or won't make it. Like, only half of them are going to make it through.
Would you say that the teams that are already in the 75 plus range could feel slightly more safer than the others? Because I believe we got 74 in 16th place and 76 or 77 in the 15th place. So would you say the battle currently still seems to be for around the last remaining 4 slots?
Well, there's 4 games left altogether. Two good games can get you about around 20 on placement points, and 2 good games get you maybe around 10 to 20 on kills. So that's 30 to 40 points for 2 good games. So if one of these lower teams, let's just say St. Vincent Sharks in 20th place, they have 2 good games, it can put them up to 94. So if those 2 good games are matched by someone like GCSB, who are on 79 with 2 bad games, then yeah, they'll still be trading places for making it to the finals and not making it to the finals. So the trick here is just to keep being consistent, and if you're high up, and I do think teams above 100 are completely safe, but I think 79 and below, they might be overtaken.
You did tell me that we have some teams, and I think I forgot already the team you mentioned, but that have managed to show that they can win, but then not being able to replicate that consistency with good placement points or eliminations in the upcoming games. So what was the team that we were talking about just off air?
So this is Group D, Riverside Thunderhawks, who are in tied 21st position with Hull Razors B. And Riverside Thunderhawks started last week with a bang. If I just scroll up here, I can see they came in and they won a game in week 4, and this actually was it week 4? But they're a team that can win, and they're right at the bottom. So this is the thing. There's some of these teams that have proven they can take a first place victory with kill points, but they're still not in like this completely comfortable position to move forward to the finals. As long as they can just replicate some of that behavior that they had when they did win, get a bit more consistency going, then they'll be able to secure these positions.
I am very keen to see yet another team start making a resurgence journey. Like I said, I still believe we might be seeing some upsets, and this is the moment to come in hot and tell us why and improve why you deserve to be one of the top 20 teams to make it to the grand finals. And I really want to see the Confetti Arrows actually showing us a bit more. I know it's quite hard to say that they are in the first place with over 20 points, but they have been rather quiet today compared to the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but Confetti Arrows are so comfortable they don't have to make any noise. whatsoever. They
Fair.
don't have to do anything whatsoever. But yeah, I did just manage to find the stats I was scrolling for there, and it was Riverside Thunderhawks. They got 12 placement points in game 1, then 2 in game 2, and 1 in game 3 with no kills. So if they just had a bit more consistency, they would be comfortably heading towards the finals right now. But now they're fighting for their life. Their head's on the chopping block. They need to do something to get out of that 21st position and up into the top 20 to make their way through to the finals.
Well, the final game of the day is almost underway, Bigfoot, and we see yet again, I think, a tendency of what we also saw last week. People starting off in the first game with only a couple of Bangalores being played, but now I think more and more, I think I saw at least 6 or 7 teams opting to go for the Bangalore. And why do you think the switch happens throughout the day? Like, the teams come in with a game plan, the game plan doesn't quite work for them, and they decide, you know what, we need more control, we need more smoke screen to hide behind it. Like, well, what is the thought process behind it?
Well, Meta is like Jupiter, like, you know, like a big planet that you have to gravitate towards it eventually. Like, no matter if you're passing through the solar system, you'll be drawn over to it eventually. And I mean, there is only one smoking character really. On this entire game, one character that can smoke is Bangalore, and you need the smokes for rotations for open space. So I think a couple of scuffed rotations with no smoke, and people will just be picking Bangalore out. Right now, very, very early push here. Evelyn does get taken down. NCL Vikings, a team that has struggled so hard to get onto the board, will get a revive right now, but it's not looking good. Let's see if they can really shine before this group stage is finished, because I think with every passing game, it's looking less and less likely that they're going to be in the finals, especially missing the first game here tonight. But of course, the one team in this entire league that I was allowed to be biased for, because they're playing just probably 10-minute cycle away from me right now in Newcastle somewhere. Oh, and they peek out, but it's right next to each other. You're scoped in, you expect to be at the bottom of the corridor, and they're just round the corner. Evelyn might be about to go right back down.
Putting some respect on their name. That's what they want to do, but yeah, it's looking very, very dire for the NCL Vikings. Didn't quite manage to get any shields, as we see Aura, though, getting some crack in. Now 2 opponents just swinging behind the corner, and yeah, Bigfoot, that's it's going to be the end of the day for them.
Again, it's been sad to watch, to be honest, mate.
Quite, yeah.
It's not often, I mean, in all the esports stuff I do at unis and that, it's not often I get to see Newcastle in the lobby, so I was rooting for them, but unfortunately they have struggled. There's been such a high caliber of teams in this tournament.
Well, you say that you hexed the Newcastle teams.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I've been accused of hexing before. I don't believe in it myself.
Okay, well, no, I'm not going to go that far, but obviously very unfortunate day for the NCL Vikings, but as they will be the first team to get eliminated from this final lobby. But still, 16 other squads playing for every single point they can get to make a difference in the rest of the group stage. As we're now looking at the SGS first shot, it's cryptic, as Ice called it, KJMCO7. That is a mouthful name.
Yeah, some of these players, they really don't want to help us out, do they, with these KJMCO7. Kujum
7.
Oh, Peacekeeper or Vault? Peacekeeper or Vault. That is a tough decision, you know, these days. I'd take Vault. Go on. Yeah. Well, I think someone might have picked up the PK, actually.
Bigfoot coaching 101. Ladies and gentlemen, respecting what the caster wants. That is what the players are doing, definitely.
Oh, my days. It's just one peek and just sprayed down by H600 there. Completely swamped. Yeah. I think that might have been the last player standing of a squad as well. So that will be Loughborough College Lycans getting a wipe on the board. It's been good to see, you know, they've been pretty good tonight than they needed to be, because they were a team that could have been knocked off the leaderboard, but with the consistency they displayed tonight, I think they are going to be comfortable. Of course, there is one more week to go. There is still 3 games to go your way or to not go your way, as the case may be, next week. So make sure you tune in to see the finals of the group stages, because the story's far from over. And as we've been running through a lot of the numbers tonight, we've really come to see that there's a massive amount of teams, maybe 15 to 20 teams, where any of them can make it through to the finals, but half of them won't.
H6000. Their team was really good thus far. Can they do more of that? But yeah, we are going back to the first shot. A bit more quiet this time. Yeah, first game was also very quiet. Second game, maybe not as much as we were expecting it, but now with the third on the board, the teams are taking it slightly slower, with only 2 of the teams losing their life just yet in the process of this third and final game. We see Ice Call just kind of disengaging, still trying to find all of the loot that they would be using or needing to use in the next fights. And okay, Easy Brother though, from Team 3, I think it's Hellraiser's B, just getting a lot of damage right there.
Yeah, Hellraisers B, they're squad that haven't quite managed to do as much as Hellraisers A have, but they've got that good influence in their campus. They were in 22nd position starting out tonight, so that yet another team that's on the chopping block may or may not make it forward to the finals. Obviously, will be good for Hull if they can get 2 teams into the finals, but as far as I'm aware, Hellraisers A are pretty comfortable and not much is going to stop them. Managed to make a retreat there up to the high ground on that rope, and they'll just heal off and hold it down for a second. We do see Ghoul already on purple armor, so that's looking pretty nice for them. Sabotage and Storm not quite made it up to the purple. Do need a few hundred more, 645 for Sabotage, but they will make it. Holding down Stormcatcher can be a really nice place you can catch a lot of rotations off guard. There's a lot of different angles and some easy ways to get out of the area quickly if you need to as well. There's an Evo cache just down the way that hasn't been picked up yet. I mean, that would take them halfway to their purples. I'm surprised to see them not make that push over towards it and grab it, but for now they're just going to hold down this high ground and get that information they need.
Still, nobody coming their way, at least not for the foreseeable minute and a half or so. As I say that, obviously they don't have the luxury of seeing the opponents the way we do. That would be unfair. It would be called cheating, actually, Bigfoot.
Yeah, well, you do get a little bit of a wall hack with the survey data.
Of course.
And you got the ring console as well. It's a good spot. I mean, if you've got that controller legend and recon legend, you can get a lot of Evo holding that area down. And yeah, I would like to see them grab that cash as well, but for now, they're just chilling. Loads of teams over in Command Center. We did see Hellraisers B take that high ground and start to chill out a little bit, but looks like there might be Cheekobra's Spitters B coming in. Yeah, this is Cheekobra's B. And they're going to be... I think it might have been GCS. Just need to double check that in this fight, but the Bloodhound ult gets popped.
Okay. Rezu maybe a bit too hard on his fingers. Some bullets will be flying in. I think it's Interp trying to maybe get some response, maybe to bait out some reaction from the opponents to give away their opposition, but it doesn't seem to be quite the case, and I think the Beast of the Hunt will be not finding their prey, at least not this time around, and now we'll have to wait until the next ultimate, but they are still in pursuit though. Rezu and Interp alongside their third, trying to find someone as we're moving across to Coop's Ronin Phoenix after in POV, spotting an opponent rotating just behind them in south.
Yeah, this is going to be a bit of an interesting fight here. We start to see two teams on the high ground, one team on the low ground. There's a fourth squad as well off this camera angle coming in, so wouldn't want to be in the middle of this, that's for sure. This middle location isn't the most comfortable. Wolfpack Orange doing their best to hold it down, but as long as they don't peek too much, they're going to be able to keep their armor together. They want to try and get some poking damage, though. I think that's what the point is for any of these 4 teams in this area, is to trying to get away from these blue shields, trying to level up that Evo. There isn't really any other way to do it when you're stuck in a situation like this, so fighting's where it's at. The distance is quite big, and it's hard to get these pokes.
Nice tags flying in from Ron with the flatline. Just keeping the opponent at bay behind the building, but this is okay. Very interesting. Ron is keeps on risking it there. I don't think you want to do this right now, as you are now seeing bullets flying from behind you. I think Coop's also getting some shots in collateral damage received from his teammate, and they don't seem to be in a position of shields. As I say, that Coops will slowly pop some for him back to half shields currently, as we have Phoenix after with a 30-30 trying to do some damage. Will place down the wall 53. I think that might have been a ding.
Yeah, it's a good defensive team comp, this. You know, you've got Rampart for the walls. You got Caustic to stop people pushing in on you while you're camping. It's a very good composition for doing poking as well. Of course, you've got that recon from Coops there. They're going extra defensive now, pushing back into this building. You never know, this zone might be coming towards them. It's shifting south at the minute, but it might veer west, it might veer east. It's already veering a little bit east. It might actually circle in around them, but currently it's looking like Wolfpack Purple have got a really good position in the zone as well. There is a handful of squads out of it. Stormcatcher, we did have Cambria A alongside Chico Spitters B, but they're not really fighting. It looks like Spitters are making that rotation away too. But something's going to be happening over in this area. There is a lot of players. That's a evac tower just taken down. Yops, very, very low health. Probably going to be finished off by this zone, if not by a gun. Gets a syringe in, but it's not a lot.
13 teams, like we said, this is way more methodical from both sides, but we do have the GCSLs. Okay, good. Guksha just getting completely obliterated when it comes to shield. We'll have to just disengage and pop something, as we see Benno trying to make some space for Guksha. Guksha down to below half HP, and I don't think Guksha will be long for the world, as they get knocked down instantly. After I say that, it's going to be Benno and Freshy, but now Freshy also probably will follow suit unless he manages to reposition himself and will try to run away. Blade, and that should keep them safe for at least a few more seconds, but there's another team just behind the direct, and that team will still pursue, getting the kill. It's only Benno, 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3, and there's another team on the back. It's HSDC Apollo getting a lot of damage on to them, and that was very, very sad for the GCSLs.
Yeah, running away, and I think it was the Derby Diamonds there, managed to make it out alive, but without the information of everyone on the map, it's not going to last too much longer if you make your way to the bottom of a team. HSDC Storm looking pretty comfortable at the back of this fight. Apollo trying to get their armor up to red again. It does really, really help when you're Revenant just to have that full armor, especially when you got a Conduit on your team. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Apollo pushing out, trying to get some more damage. And as I say, so yeah, Apollo is hungry for the blood yet again. Grabbing some of this loot from Benno, please. And with a long way to go, that actually maybe take this grab jump or maybe evac tower, but right over the touchdown, we see a lot of fighting again. These three teams that are playing the distant poking game has started to make their way together a little bit, and we might see a pretty intense fight here.
Yeah, I think this is what the future holds for us, as a lot of players on top of each other, and we see H6000. It's actually H600D, my apologies. Yeah, just fighting long distance, breaking the shield, but will get popped back in, and very nice shot. Yeah, I like the way that was lined up perfectly right there. 11 squads left. 31 players, H600 getting some shots from the low ground up, high ground in the building on top of the rock.
Yeah, this is all going to be on if H600 can get some good entry damage. Pretty desperate, but very similar playstyle we see to the other Revenant in the lobby. Aggressive, trying to get that damage on the board, trying to get that red shield on the board for the last circle, playing alongside the Conduit as well. And then you've got Yox for info should you need it for those pushes, and there are some very, very close to taking a player out. If you look on the right-hand side of the screen as well, you can see there has been a ton of deaths in the last seconds. Ice Cold and KGMC taken down elsewhere on the map. And of course, Loughborough College Lycans making that aggressive push out. Cryptic does get taken down. I think they managed to finish that squad off pretty easily, but now the Rolling Thunder comes out. Taking a second to avoid it, but then getting their hands back on that juicy loot. Quaintus, very, very low, trying to make their way into the circle. Chico Spitters B, done great to survive this far, but losing Quaintus on the edge of zone. What can Interp do about this alongside Rafe? Rafe taken down, armor cracked. Very, very tricky situation here for them.
Yeah, they tried to play behind this rocket. They did regaining their shields. Quaintus, though, that was so close to get to the team. Sadly, Quaintus will not be picked back up just there as we have EGC pursuing the Kai Cobra Spitters and getting a nice damage over the top, getting the high ground, spotting the opponent again, breaking the defense, and now both of them isolated. A Sentinel trying to land a shot. Okay, needs to reload, and that's going to enable, I believe, H6000 to disengage.
Interesting. Well, the Lycans themselves, they managed to move
strange.
forward 2 places in the standings. They opened tonight with 40, and they had 2 consistently good games. Nothing too special, but consistency is what it's at. They went from 14th place to 12th place here. Probably going to have another comfortable game and keep moving forward. But how far forward can they go early? I love this close quarters Sentinel shots that are getting taken. It's bang. Oh, unfortunately, going to miss that one. Can another one hit? No. You really have to hit those shots if you're using the Sentinel in a close quarters duel. H600 very, very low, almost taken out. EJCYA very, very low, nearly taken out, but going to get another shot in there with the Sentinel. Beautiful stuff. But now, on the last couple of HP, can they make it away? This zone could just finish them off if they just get tagged by the zone, but it won't be the zone they're tagged by. It will actually be HSDC and Phoebius. Elsewhere on the map, H600 now with the same amount of health, doing the same thing, running towards these weapons, and will be finished off too.
HSDC coming in to clean up house. It was Phoebius and Apollo with a kill of their own, 1 each to take out. But that was a very beautiful chase that we were just following. We are moving on to the top 5. 15 players alive, so no one at a numeric disadvantage just yet. But we are looking, and I believe it is TCS Esports.
Taking a little bit of damage. They try and get some stuff out of the replicator. Gonna have to pick up use the shield battery they just got damaged trying to pick up. Shots coming down from various angles. This is a very, very busy area earlier on, but it looks like the majority of the teams that were here have moved on. There's just see one team back there. Easy rotate with the Ash. Love to see it. Probably one of the best things that character's got going for them, and would love to see a little bit of a buff on that snare. It's been slightly buffed, you can be greedy, you can grab 2 people, or you can level up to have 2 of them, but there's still movement agents that can make their way out of it, and it would be nice if it was just a little bit more powerful against some of these sneaky maneuvering agents. Oh,
wow. This is not looking too good as we see a lot of pressure being dealt right here. Apollo gets taken out, Phoebius down to low HP, but it's Upriver 3 just coming out on top with yet the final kill onto Coops. So that's going to be Phoenix, Ron, and Coops completely wiped out by Upriver 3 that just got 3 more kills for his side. Down to 4 squads left. And that was an absolute masterclass coming in from the HSDC side.
Yeah, they're looking so good, and speaking of looking good, TCS are looking pretty nice as well. TCS were a team that were in 25th place, so with this good game that they're having, it is possible. Right now they've got 50 points, so they're actually down in the mid-20s, but, like we were saying, one good game, if they can... There's 3 squads left, if they can just keep getting a few more kills, maybe even just secure 3rd place might be enough, but 1st place would really help them jump out of that 20 to 30 range. Akrosi, new smoke pushing along this bridge here. Master getting some excellent spray downs as Shockstar is actually taken out completely. Now in the zone, trying to get some damage from the zone, but will be taken out too. And it's all onto Ultra God to finish this situation off, but the 1v3 is going to be so difficult, especially against a team like HSDC.
Upriver 3 with a 4th. Apollo will get the final last hit, but now look at them. Apollo just jumping into 2 opponents, and Nitro there with the 3rd to just pressure him back. Can they make it happen? Is the Kai Cobra Spitter C trying to stay alive? They're already made to the top 3. Akwosi, Bangalore down to 1 shot away from dying. Can they manage to pop up this big shield? They are doing it right now. The teammates need to cover, but Schmuck and Nitro not looking too healthy either. The bullets flying in, and then Aqua gonna be taken out by Apollo. Nitro though, gonna try to cover for his teammates, spraying through the smoke, but not managing to come out on top of that duel either. Spots the opponent, tries to shot him in the back, but gets taken out. And now it's gonna be Schmuck. Isolated.
I think the Lycan solos going to make it to the top 2. It's possible. Wraith's still alive somewhere, I think.
Ooh, nice burst
Yep, 2
control
squads
coming
left. It's a
in.
3v1. So they're like, where's this player? You could have killed them earlier, mate. You had a chance and you let them get a second place, but HSDC going to be happy with this no matter which way it goes now. They know it's all theirs. There's that single solo
wow.
jumping down from the sky, spraying it down, and it will be HSDC for another win, looking so comfortable.
Victorious yet again, and what a performance! And I think you got to commend the way that they approach the late game. Every single time we see them getting into this final circles, into the top fives, they are playing this very methodically. And in the first time when they managed to come out on top, it was a great tactical decision to split up, take control of the high ground, and then reunite. And that's how they managed to get the first victory. Whereas now it was completely different. It was more up to individual skill coming in from upriver tree to get full squad wiped, and then get back the knock teammates, and then re-engage, play up the high ground, leave the solo player alone, and then kill him last to secure the victory. So HSDC are proving to us that they are one of the teams that might have went slightly under the radar for the first few weeks, but they are definitely a strong contender moving on to the grand finals.
Yeah, they're looking really comfortable. They'll be the stats are just coming in now, but I think they're going to be pretty comfortable in the top 5 now.
Wow.
Yeah, really, really good positioning. So another team that is, I would say, guaranteed their place in the finals. You know, like they'd have to. I don't think it's possible for any of these teams with more than 120 to get knocked out now. We're gonna let these bits of data get pushed in, of course, so we can finish off tonight with the actual standings. But right now, just looking at the Excel document on my second screen, things are jumping about, and it's people are jumping about at the top, but people are jumping about where it matters as well. In that, say, 15th to 25th place, I see teams moving up and down, and there is,
Bigfoot.
of course, 1 week left.
I gotta ask you. I mean, is this correct? This looks like a bit of a bug. We obviously had HSDC Storm win that with 14 kills, but then we had the Lycans in 6th with 12 kills. Impressive. But what I'm even more impressed, I believe it's the Cambria A, 11th place with 9 kills. That can't be right?
What are you looking at? Where are you? Are you in the same Excel document?
No, I'm looking at the screenshot of the team kills at the end of the third game that has just been sent to Discord. That is unbelievable.
9 kills in 11th place. Yeah, that's insane.
I mean, it's very unfortunate for them getting the third most kills in the server, and I think top 5 kills across the day, but only placing 11th, Bigfoot. That is very unfortunate for Cambria. I mean, it's good they got a lot of elimination points, but still, that's not something that maybe they just wiped 3 teams and then they got third party that caught by surprise. But then we look at the Kai Cobra Speeder C and the Wolfpack that got to top 4 with zero eliminations.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. But if you have 3 early fights, you know, you're going to be drawing a lot of attention to yourself. And that might be, you know, 1 drop fight and then 3 third parties in a row that you got to deal with. That is potentially what happened. And that's not easy. You know, if you don't get that chance to reset, your uptime is going to be downtime and you'll be on low health, low armor when that final squad push in. And might have only been a couple of shots to finish them off. We don't know exactly what happened there, but yeah, very unfortunate situation to be in, to start off your game with 9 kills and be taken out so far down the leaderboard.
Yeah, I don't think that's something we see often, especially not at student champs, but I believe we have the updated standings with the results from groups A and C, not groups B and D. So obviously take everything with a bit of pinch of salt. Some changes might occur as soon as the entire day finishes, but confetti arrows over the 200 point mark. Wow, that's impressive. But again, it doesn't really affect us. We know the confetti arrows have pretty much a guaranteed spot in the grand finals. Then 7th to 9th, Cambria A, the CC Warriors and the BD Bears with 127 points each, only one behind Hellraisers A, and then the GCLs just cracking into top 10, and this is GCS Owls that we had on stream today, and so is Cambria A. But now let's get into the nitty-gritty with the top 20. 10 to 20, the Derby Diamonds have been kicked out of the top 10, but the Lycans, after a very solid day, Bigfoot, they are now in over 110 points with 111 securing the 12th spot. And I gotta say, I think they pretty much guaranteed themselves a spot in the grand finals.
Yeah, but like you said, this is where you're going to start needing to have some salt because in the 17, 18, 19, 20th position, 65 points. It looks like TCS Esports are comfortable in the top 20 right now, but there's an entire lobby of nearly 20 teams that are going to have their scores updated.
Yeah,
And
true.
TCS might get put straight back down to 24th place or something when that happens. So yeah, and we'll see this full stats at the start of next week, and if you are in that position, 18th, 17th, or 24th place, next week is your final chance to solidify your place in the finals.
It's 3 more matches, right? And obviously, we mentioned this, I think, maybe about 800 million times today. If you're in the top 30, you might still have a chance to upset one of the teams that is in the top 20 to steal their spot. But that was a very different Apex Legends Day compared to the couple of last few weeks that we had, I would say, Bigfoot. And I believe it's because the teams are starting to feel the pressure. If you can't make it happen today, you couldn't make it happen today, you can't make it happen next week. This is it, the end of your season.
Yeah, it's nearly over. And then we will have a gap. There'll be a 3-week gap. Have a nice, enjoy your holidays, your Easter holidays, and all that, and then we'll be back for the finals. So yeah, be a pleasure if you could join us next week for the last stage of the group stages. See just who can solidify their spot in this top 20. It's going to be very difficult for some of these teams in the precarious positions that they're in, but some of these teams are looking extremely comfortable and they can just have a laugh in the last 3 games. We might even see some funny play coming out, maybe some funny stacked comps, but realistically, you want to be taking every game seriously and aiming for that consistency moving forward. And I'm sure teams like Guild Gen Z, as a matter of pride, are going to be trying to take that first spot back.
Yeah, I was wondering if we're going to see a bit more contest coming into the first top 3 spots, because obviously Gil Jizzy and Confetti Arrows have been the only 2 teams to be in the lead since the beginning of the season. So that's going to be very curious to see if they want to fight that. But you know what? I've got a surprise for everybody at home. I am being told that we are going to be waiting. We want to not make you wait another 7 days to find out what the final standings are. So we're going to be buying just a few more moments, Bigfoot, time to see the updated complete top 20. And I gotta ask you, based on the 3 games that we had on stream today, do you have a player that you feel like stood out more to you? Maybe someone that we could call the MVP of our week 5?
Well, Koala bringing the squad back to second place is really, really good. It's not easy. It's not easy to bring a squad back in a professional lobby like this, and to get that squad back and take them all the way through to the top 2. So yeah, I think Koala takes my MVP for this week for sure.
Oh, I mean, I was thinking Apollo, but I forgot completely about Koala. Not just the second game winning it, but bringing everybody back in game 1. So you know what, Bigfoot, I'm with you. Koala takes it from both of us. Week 5 MVP of the group stage, and we'll have to wait to see if it's going to make a difference for them at the end of next week as well. And we are now really excited. Okay, predictions. Did Gil Gen Z win that match, Bigfoot? Don't cheat. Don't look at it before the stream.
But I've got the Excel document right here. Why would I not cheat?
Well, because life is meant to be fair. Life is definitely fair. But no, Bigfoot, I'm being informed, we are both being informed, that actually Gil Gen Z had a player that disconnected halfway through the 3rd game. So that's unfortunate for them.
Minor inconvenience for Guild Gen Z. I'm sure they're still comfortable in second place, even with that going down. Yeah, let's see this. They were on the opposite broadcast to us tonight. So let's have a little look. They got 11 total of 11 placement points. So that's
not enough, I believe. I think they were like 19 points behind, I believe.
Yeah, that's not a lot for them. They had placement points 2 in game 1, placement points 5 in game 3, and placement points 7 in game 2. So 4 kills and 5 kills and no kills. So they got a total of 23 points today, which will keep them in that second place, but will not knock out Confetti Arrows.
Well, not knock out, but not take them off of their first podium position. But with that being said, we can take it. We can check it out as we have the final updated standings for week number 5. Wow. The Coventry Crosshairs, though, 167 in 3rd place. HSDC Storm, 163, just outside of the top 3. Not many changes happening in the top 10. I believe only the CC Warriors and CCSW Sandstorm getting a few more points, but still maintaining their 5 to 8 placements as we're moving on to the important, crucial final 10 slots to make it to the grand finals. And wow.
TCS
Oh,
Esports didn't get knocked out by that rearranging, but pretty sure CAVC Celts did move up. Something's happened in those bottom
of
few
course.
teams. Yeah.
There's a few new names that we weren't seeing previously, and I believe even the Colonel Ciphers actually jumped a few spots, as I think they were one of the teams in the bottom to like 19 to 20, and they're now in 13th, knocking the GCS Owls B down to the 14th. Very interesting, but I think this is the story, Bigfoot. Clearly, the top 12 teams seem to be pretty much secure. Despite getting the final results, the Lycans, who are in 12th, and everybody above them seem to be safe unless something egregious will happen next week.
Something egregious might happen next week. You know, we've seen teams have some pretty bad games. Like, I don't want to laugh at them, but there's been some teams that we expect to just be so consistent who have had bad games, and there has been teams that have come out the woodwork, come out the dark, and had amazing games. So, yeah, something might happen, but for the top 10, I think they're comfortable. It's all about the other teams. And we've seen just how much that score. But you saw that different scoreboard. It was those like 5-1-2-7s in a row. And then we get the extra points in, and all the numbers are all over the place yet again. So, but with only 3 games to go, it is looking like these higher level teams are pretty comfortable.
Well, with that being said, everybody, I think this will be it from the 5th Apex Legends Student Champs Cup week from Waxen, Bigfoot, and everybody else behind the scenes. Bigfoot, do you have any final words you'd like to say to our viewers at home?
Make sure you tune in next week for the last stage of the groups. It's going to be a bloodbath. Things are going to change for some of these teams, and then enjoy your holidays after that, because we're heading towards the finals. I can't wait.
Don't talk to them about holidays just yet, Bigfoot. Come on, we need to come back here for the 6th and final week, which may be the most important week for many of these teams. So stay tuned, and well, actually, don't stay tuned. Just come back next Thursday at about the same time to
Stay tuned if you want. You can just watch this Twitch channel for 140 hours.
Sure, I mean, why not? But that will be it for us for today. We will see you in about 7 days' time. Huge shout out to Bigfoot. Please go give him a follow. He's got it right there underneath. And huge shout out to everybody behind the scenes today: Lou, Evie, Lottie, Nanos, and Shriekle, and everybody at British Esports. And thanks to you for watching the Student Champs. I was Waxen, and we'll see you next time with more Apex Legends.